sit here today and we look out to the December 25 corn contract sitting around 450, we can't help but wonder if it's too early or if we should be starting to look at making some small sales out to the 25 corn crop. That's what we're going to talk about here today. Keep in mind, everything we're looking at is for education and example purposes. Make sure that you guys know and you're comfortable with your risk tolerance as we go through these examples. Here's your weekly December corn contract for the 24. These 24, this was printed off in February when we did a marketing meeting. You've got your U.S. ending stocks down there going back to the 15-16 crop year. The whole point of this was that with that yellow line at 450, when U.S. ending stocks are above this 2 billion bushel mark or near it, and world stocks are healthy, which they are, you don't spend a lot of time above 450 on December corn. As you can see, in February, we were at 458. Fast forward to today, they've revised the ending stocks down a little bit here. We're still hanging around that 2 billion bushel mark, and D's corn is now broken $4 today. We're sitting at $3.99. We moved that yellow line down to $4. And obviously, as you all know, what typically happens is in these environments, you have that little weather rally. You get a push to 4.25, 450, maybe 475 before corn likes to come back in. So what if we maybe got a little bit of an early jump on that? And that's kind of our thought process here. When we look to the D's 25 contract, here's your D's 25. The yellow line's at 450. We need the market to come back up just a little bit. $5. The corn market this year hasn't spent a whole lot of time, I guess you could say, above that 5. So keep that in mind too. But historically, as we said, 2 billion bushels U.S. ending stocks, global stocks healthy. We just don't spend a whole lot of time above 450, and that's kind of what's driving this thought process about making a small sale on the 25 contract. If we use the board, we're going to get a lot more flexibility. You have no delivery obligation. Obviously, this far out, that's a big concern for guys, is what if I don't raise a crop? Now, you are going to have some insurance products that are going to help you out with that, but again, we'd rather not be obligated to deliver. So doing the board gets you in and out of the contract rather quickly. Your basis is also open. You can pick whatever delivery point you want. You can shop the ethanol plant. You can shop your local feedlot. You can shop your co-op. Pick your favorite delivery point and watch your basis this way as well. The other thing, a little more sophisticated, but it can be done, is if we have a drop in futures from here, you could always take this off and then reestablish it. You're going to want to talk to somebody about setting potential stop loss parameters, but it can be done, and you can somewhat double dip on these moves as well. Then lastly, as you've heard us talk, we're into a carry market, so you can always roll these contracts ahead. Right now, from D's 25 to July 26, there's about 27 cents a carry. We think the potential for full carry is somewhere around 50 cents. That's a pretty healthy move if you want to roll these contracts and take advantage of your bins. Let's talk some of the cash layout and some of the potential downsides of this, right? Again, your initial margin to sell one of these contracts is going to run you $950. That doesn't include your commissions and your fees. Let's budget a 50-cent move, okay? So the corn goes to $5, you're going to have a $2,500 margin call. You have to ask yourself if you can handle that, if that's reasonable or not, but that's the fact of the matter. Corn goes, if you sell a contract at $4.50 and corn goes to $5, you're going to have a call for $2,500. But now we also have to ask ourselves, if you have 10% or 5%, give or take, of your corn sold at $4.50 and corn goes to $5, is that a good problem to have or a bad one? So wrapping this thing up, like we said, $4.50 historically is a reasonable value to protect, especially in an environment where the U.S. ending stocks are around 2 billion bushels and the global stocks overall are healthy. If $4.50 is your worst sale, we would argue that that's probably a good problem to have. But on the flip side, we also have to ask ourselves, if we're doing 5 or 10% and $4.50 is our best sale, what does that mean for our operation as well? Remember that the trade-off for flexibility using the board is going to be cash margin. You've got to know your risk tolerance and what you're comfortable doing. Lastly, know your numbers. If it doesn't make sense or you aren't making profits here at $4.50, this probably isn't for you. On the other hand, if you're making a reasonable profit, this might make sense. We know it's not the home run from the last previous years, but generally speaking, if you can get started selling at a profitable level, that's typically a good business decision. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to help. As always, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We really enjoy making these videos for you, and we appreciate you tuning in.